In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to create a high-ticket coaching offer. If your business is currently built around hourly sessions, I already know why you're struggling. Structure isn't about what's easy to deliver. Success isn't about an exchange of time. It's about something way more valuable. This episode will help you avoid the mistake that most coaches make and keeps them at a very low income. You're going to learn how to create a high-ticket coaching offer. Let's look at what are the most common coaching or pricing models for coaching. Okay, so you've got an hourly rate, you've got a session package, like a number of sessions. You can purchase 6 coaching sessions for this dollar amount. And the last one is just unclear. A lot of coaches are really unclear and they give different quotes to everybody. So let's point out the problems with these 3 models. Okay, they're harder to sell. It's harder to sell hourly coaching, even if you're just charging $100 an hour, $50 an hour, $200 an hour. It doesn't matter the price. It's harder to sell coaching because coaching is intangible. Coaching just means a conversation. It's actually harder to charge a higher price, and the higher you go, it's harder to sell because people have to be convinced that what you're going to be doing during that time is valuable to them. It's not a question of, are you valuable, but what are we going to be talking about that makes it worth that much money? Now, as valuable as you are and as valuable as your time is, your time has a lower perceived value. Your clients, your customers see your time as less valuable than theirs, even if you've got the credentials. And you don't want to take your time trying to build up your value. That's not going to help anything. When you are selling your time for a dollar amount, it's actually much harder to scale because your time is limited. If you're working 40 hours a week, how do you scale? You either work 60 hours a week, right? Put in more time, or you raise your prices, you raise your hourly rate. There's a limit. There's only so high you can go and there's only so long you can work. The biggest problem that hopefully you saw as I described this, but the biggest problem with all of this is that there's no focus on the outcome. The focus is on time and just spending time or just doing the coaching. And you might be pushing back and saying, well, of course there's an outcome. All of our coaching is so that we can help them be successful. We can help them overcome blank or get through this or achieve, this and this goal. Well, if that really is the truth, then you need to completely repackage everything around that outcome. What is the outcome? Just to use an example, let's say you're a weight loss coach, right? What is the outcome you're going to deliver for somebody? And I bring up this example because you could easily quantify it, okay? You weigh this much now, and by the end, you're going to weigh this much. That is the program. Does the person who wants to lose weight care about how many sessions they're going to have? Do they care about the specific assignments you're going to give them, the way that they track it? Are they really caring about the specific food or nutrition or exercise? All those things they might wonder about, but even if they don't want to do any of those things, but they know the outcome, if you're focused on the outcome, they're going to be able to commit to doing those things, to doing the hard things that they wouldn't otherwise want to do. And instead of having a conversation with you about every hour of your time is worth this amount of money, the conversation is the outcome. What is the outcome worth? So charging $5,000 or $15,000 for an outcome without even knowing the specifics of all the steps in between becomes way easier. So here's a simple exercise just to kind of reverse engineer, okay? Let's say a client came to you and they knew your expertise, they knew your skill sets, and they just knew you were the person for them. They wanted to hire you and they say, I've got $100,000. I'm going to pay you $100,000 to work with me over the next year. What would you deliver? What could you do if you took them by the hand and led them step by step for the next year? What would that outcome be? Where will they be, or what will they accomplish after that year? Once you know the outcome, where you want to take them, then you can just backtrack it. Well, if that's where we're going to be 12 months from now, this is where we need to be at month 11 and month 10. This is where we need to be at month 6. This is what we need to do in month 1. You know this stuff. You could figure that out, but we need to have that end goal in mind, and the client needs to have that end goal in mind. That's what a high ticket program is a program that goes step by step to lead to an outcome. The selling part becomes easy because you're not selling a method or a technique or a concept, or you're not selling your time. What you're selling is the outcome. And if you've helped somebody else achieve that same outcome, then you just show them that testimonial or you show them that case study, and that does the selling for you. If they want that outcome and if they have confidence that you can deliver the outcome, they'll buy your high ticket program. So I've already said this, I'm just going to phrase it in a slightly new way so it can really sink in. Pricing equals the value of the result, not your personal time. Now, what if you haven't helped somebody get that result yet? Well, that's where you have to start. And I would do it for free, right? You're not going to be able to sell it if you've never done it before. And that's why you might be tempted to think, well, I could probably get someone there. I'll just charge them hourly until we get there. It's not going to happen, or it's definitely not going to happen quickly. And you need this to happen quickly. I need you to create the package anyway, okay? Decide what that outcome is. Find a person that needs that outcome, that wants it, that desires it, that's willing to commit to do the steps, that's willing to let you take them by the hand and lead them and commit to you for the next year to get that outcome. Now find a way to give that service for free to them. Maybe you can do an exchange. Maybe you could have some type of partnership. Now, I did this. I created a program that would help people get a specific result on YouTube. It was a big program. There was a lot involved. It required a year commitment. But the payoff I could see, I knew would be huge. I knew it would be 7 figures plus. And I could not sell that outcome without a track record of success. I couldn't even sell it at my cost. So no profit to me, but I still couldn't sell it. But I found 2 people. I worked for them for free in partnership. We were going to share future profits. Those 2 YouTube channels became extremely successful. They were very, very profitable. And when people saw those YouTube channels, they then came to me and said, Nate, I want you to do that for me, my business, and my YouTube channel. And after that, yes, they were willing to pay me for my service. Of course, they covered the costs, but profit margin as well. So I had a profitable service now. Now you may have questions. Should I do one-on-one coaching or should I do group coaching? You're definitely going to want to start with one-on-one coaching, and the group coaching will be an experiment. You need to have several people go through the one-on-one coaching program to be able to get the results, and a group coaching is going to allow you to help more people, maybe at a lower price point, but higher volume. But you're going to need to have a track record of success of people that you helped one-on-one in order to be able to sell that group coaching. Growing a coaching business isn't something that just happens instantly. It's something that will evolve over time. Successful case studies, and if you start to experiment on the group coaching side and you experiment with courses and webinars and different funnels, different tiers of your service, you'll be able to look at these different revenue streams and these different client paths, and you'll look at how much time am I putting into this one, how's my energy, how's the profit, what about this one, how much time am I putting into this one, how's my energy, how's the profit. And as you go through and make that comparison, you can then make adjustments and figure out which ones you want to grow and to scale, which ones you might want to eliminate or just cap. There's a lot more nuance to it because coaching programs are typically the highest ticket, right? But digital courses are the easiest to deliver and the easiest to scale, but there's some drawbacks there too. You might get hired for keynote speaking, and that can be a real high revenue generator, but it's a big commitment of your time for all the travel that you'll be doing. Plan on putting in a lot of time in each of these areas in the beginning so that you can figure it out. You don't have to start them all at once. As you get momentum, you'll be able to align all these activities to the future that you want. Another part of this conversation is, where do your clients come from? How do they find you, right? And do you find them in different places for different services? So do your coaching clients find you one way, but your digital product clients, your courses, do people find you a different way, or is it the same way? What is your most successful marketing method? Are you doing any type of paid advertising? Do you have a social media marketing campaign, whether paid ads or some organic approach? Have you considered YouTube? Now, in the world of coaching and consulting, I've found that the best strategy leverages YouTube to get you to show up for your dream clients on YouTube, Google, and ChatGPT. And if that is of interest to you, I'm going to link to another episode right there. It's called the Leaf Strategy. The Leaf Strategy helps you get in front of your dream clients, these people who've never heard of you before, but that are searching for your expertise. They are actively going online, whether it's YouTube, Google, or ChatGPT, and the things that they are trying to solve, the struggles that they're having, is exactly what you help them with. You can make sure that your videos are showing up in front of them. So I'd love for you to go watch that video next. It's called The Leaf Strategy, how to rank #1 on YouTube. I'll see you there.